with MMA Gems. Um, Missed the card last week due to technical difficulties. I recorded, and then the file got corrupted. Didn't have a backup like an idiot. Now I'm gonna take the measures to always have a backup, but got fried on that, and it was already Friday, late day, so didn't want to just put some bullshit out or like put too quick for some bullshit out. But we're back nonetheless. Um, and we have a numbered card this week. Last week was obviously an iffy card betting wise. A lot of deep favorites. Shaky card, especially from the betting value perspective. Wasn't a lot of value really anywhere, unless you're taking longer shots. And we move on to this one. We have a BMF belt on the line between Charles do Bronx, Oliveira, and Max Blessed Holloway. And let's get right into it. Now, Luke Fernandez from Dynamite Contender Series taking on Rodolfo Bellato, also a former Contender Series. Um, um, First fight of the night, and this is not your typical trash women's middle competition type of shit. This is a decent fight between an undefeated prospect and a guy who was getting a little bit of a push for uh decently close odds with Navajo Sterling, and he fought tough in that fight, and then he obviously fought Paul Craig, and uh, he's a jiu-jitsu guy. He throws on the feet. I'm not a big fan of Bellato. You remember he pulling out for herpes, and uh, just a shaky guy overall. Can't really trust much of him. Chins, he had a really close fight with Jimmy Crew. Came back to draw that, but I can't pick him here against Luke Fernandez when um easy the former Cage Fury champion is just very well rounded. He has great grappling, and his boxing is pinpoint and has power. You see, you watch his highlight reel, you're gonna see some cartoonish fucking finishes, and grappling. I could see Bellato having some success in that realm, and that's why the odds aren't fucking like minus 1,000 in this bout. But I think Fernandez is either gonna find a shot or get him to the ground and get some ground and pound in. My prediction's gonna be Luke Fernandez via knockout. Minus 3.5 at minus 175. I don't hate that at all, but if it goes the distance, I wouldn't be shocked to see Bellato maybe get around on one card, but the minus 3.5, I think I like. Um, I think a finish is in order. I think it could be in the first two rounds. I'm trying to look at where I could find some value here, but Fernandez minus 230 isn't. It's a slightly on the juice side, but if you take Luke Fernandez by finish, which I think it'll happen, that's probably the route I'll go. Um, what do you think, Hot Hand?
Yeah, I think Fernandez has a clear advantage wherever he wants to keep the fight. And I think Otto definitely has a threat to win via sub if he catches Fernandez or something. But I think Fernandez is gonna his wrestling will hold up, and he'll just maintain control and not let these BJJ scenarios of a submission happen. So give me Fernandez. I think he's gonna be the cleaner striker, hold him more power, and I think he's just more technical on the feet, and I think he's going to win via early knockout as well. But I think Fernandez at minus 230 against someone like Bellato is a very good line. I mean, the only thing like I could really see is Bellato winning by a submission, and I don't think that's very likely.
Yeah, it would have to be some freak show on the ground. You can obviously hedge with that if you're skeptical. I'm trying to look at the overs and unders. Over 1.5 isn't terrible, but with how pinpoint Fernandez's striking is, I really don't want to play around with that. But nothing really more I want to say on that fight. We'll keep this one pushing on. We have Gaston Bolanos taking on Jung Young Lee. Uh, this fight, two strikers, and I really don't think that Bolanos has enough or doesn't have enough grappling or any type of other attributes besides his uh striking that's gonna even threaten Young Lee. So I'm kind of confused on how he gets it done. If it's by decision or it's by knockout. Bolanos has a. I don't really think he has a glass chin. I haven't really seen much in that realm, but I'll probably go a decision as my prediction, genuinely decision. But I think he's live for a knockout, and I don't think that Gaslamano's like when Jung Young Lee lost to Willie Cat. It was because Willie Cat was threatening him with clinches against the cage and like at least fainting or going for shots uh and wearing down on Lee. Gaslamano's has none of that. If anyone's clinching and shit, I think Jung Young Lee's a stronger guy here. So I'm gonna go Lee by decision as my overall prediction. Uh, I don't hate the Jung Young Lee minus 3.5 at minus 170. Uh, there's not really any takedown props, what I've been trying to look at for these early fights, but really nothing that I'm seeing available. I also think round one could be pretty close in this fight because it's going to be them feeling each other out. So, uh, Gas and Bolanos plus 1.5 on the round one spread at plus 120. I don't think it's terrible. I think he can take it on one card, but I think Lee is going to be clear a clear winner here. Minus 325 is a bit juiced, so I don't really know where else to play that. But besides those props, I don't really have much. What do you have, Hot Hand?
Yeah, I think Lee is definitely the more well-rounded fighter, and I think he'll have an easy win if he drags his fight to the ground, and that's just based off Ilya Jr.'s lack of grappling. We've seen him struggle with grapplers and get sub time and time again, and we know that his stand-up game could hold up. He's very good. He has power, and I feel that Lee his method or game plan here is to take him down and clinch. But I could see this fight going the distance just if Lee gets complacent and racks up a minute in the clinch against the cage, where I think he could come out and knock him out quick. I don't think he's gonna sub, but I feel that he would get a ground and pound before a submission in this fight. But I'm not big on this fight. I don't like taking Lee at almost minus 300, but Gaston is pretty ass, but Lee at minus 300 just isn't right for me. Lee should
Yeah.
win though. I think Lee wins.
What do you think? You think he's taking it by knockout or decision?
I don't know. I feel like if it isn't a quick knockout, I think it's gonna go to decision. So I think there's gonna be a lot of takedown attempts on the side of Lee.
Yeah. I'm not trying to look for props, but they don't have anything. But I would take a shot at Lee takedowns. I'm pretty sure he's a black belt, but I might be mistaken with that. But he works with a pretty good camp, so I could see him getting Bolanos to the ground. But I don't really think he have to. We'll keep looking.
Line's probably gonna be like 1.5. I would guess.
Yeah, I could see that too. I don't know if I would take that though. Uh,
Yeah, I don't know.
Nurgozhay taking on Rafael Tobias here. Nurgozhay's been fraud checked already. Motherfucker got subbed by an Ezekiel choke. But that's by Uran Saudi Baldiev, and you know he's legit. And Rafael Tobias, he's looked great. He's only 22 years old. Um, I really this fight. I don't want to pick DR again because we've already seen him get fraud checked, but the odds are closer than I would think they would be. Like when I'm looking at the lines, and that's what like is a bit scaring me here. I feel like Tobias is my pick, but I don't know why he's only minus 180. I would think that he would be like a minus 300 compared to like that last fight we spoke about. I'm a bit confused on that line, but I really don't think it's going the distance whatsoever. So I'm looking at finishes. I don't see Nurgozhay finishing them on the ground. I'm looking at like sub only money line. That's at minus 1,000. So yeah, we're not playing that. Um, Under 1.5, over 1.5. I hate taking like 1.5. So like that's why I'm trying to look at how to play this under. Uh, I would probably think Tobias via submission would be the way because we already saw him get caught by Brendan Rivera or Ribeiro, and we've seen him get caught last fight as well. So I think Tobias submission at plus 150 or Tobias by knockout or submission minus 125 is probably the way you're gonna play this. But I'm gonna keep looking while Hot Hand gives his show.
Yeah, I think Dyer at these odds is pretty good. And I mean Tobias is a finisher and we see him get finishes all the time, but I think if he doesn't get this quick finish, I think he's gonna gas. And I think he's young and I think the inexperience is definitely gonna catch up to him soon, especially at this level. And I just don't think Dyer is as bad as people are making it seem. I mean, I he has had back to back submission losses, but I do think we'll see a better version of him. And at this value, I think that he would definitely be a good play. I would definitely be interested in taking him via decision. I could see him getting beat up bad early and then coming out to like a cardio win where he just edges on the decisions. But if it's definitely, I think it should be juicy. So if the odds are good on that, I think that's definitely something I would play. But money lines, I wouldn't touch anything.
Yeah, and the more I think about this fight, like the over 1.5, under 1.5 scenario, I would not take the under 1.5 in this fight. I think it could go a little bit. I think both fighters are durable, and unless Tobias takes him with a quick sub in the first round, which is easily takeable at good odds, um, I really don't see him knocking Yar out on the feet or anything. So submission or bust.
Plus 700, plus 700 Dyar's decision. I think that's pretty decent.
Yeah,
I like that.
I think it's Tobias sub or bust for when it comes to finishes in the fight. So like
Yeah, I could definitely see that.
if you either take that or take the decision. I like that actually. Either one at the or decision or like a split decision. I'm looking at DR plus 1.5 round three spread at minus 150. Um
Now, if the fight doesn't get to round three, what does that void?
it's a void, yeah. If the round does not officially start, bets for the market will void.
Oh yeah, that's a fucking. I'm definitely hammering that bet.
So like if it
There's
goes
no way Tobias is gonna be the fresher fighter in round three
yeah, and he only has to
if it
win it.
gets there.
He only has to win it on one on one card. He only has to win that round
Yeah,
on
I
one card.
definitely like that.
And the minus 1.5, if you want to say that he's just gonna win the round outright, plus 180. So I think
Yeah.
that's the route I'm gonna play. That's on DraftKings, by the way. They've introduced a new market. It's a round one, round two, and round three spreads. So how you can play minus 1.5 would be like he wins it all three because if you're 2-1 judges for the round, that means the plus 1.5 covers. So if you don't, you'd have to. If you want to cover the spread, you have to win it on one card. Is how it is. But I'm probably going to play around with that on this fight instead. But we'll keep it moving. Jesus Aguilar and Sumudaerji. Um, two fighters I'm pretty familiar with. Sumudaerji last year is one of my most confident plays against Mitraposo. I ended up going to a split decision, but outclassed him on the feet. And then Jesus Aguilar, front choke demon, always shooting gilly. You already know his game. He's short, but he's scrappy. And he was a nice pick for us last time out against Guriel. I believe that was his last fight, but I remember paid out nice for us. You hear against Sumudaerji, though, he's going to be giving up a lot of height. It's going to be the similar game plan to what we saw Sumudaerji versus Mitraposo, in my opinion. Jesus Aguilar, the only way that if he has any type of IQ, he is not standing on the feet, because he's going to get absolutely ripped apart. We just recently saw Sumudaerji's cousin open up against Sulung Rangbo against Lawrence Lee. Ended up losing a split decision loss in that one, but showcased the striking that these guys possess. Sumudaerji is possibly even better on the feet, but bigger. And I think Sumudaerji here is the play to go. I don't really know. Jesus Aguilar, obviously by submission, is the immediate head because he's going to be sh- shooting for that front choke at least once in this bout. So when you're thinking about that, um, I'm trying to take a look. Sumudaerji, I don't think he's going to knock out Aguilar. So I think Sumudaerji by points is where I'm going to go prediction wise. Um, plus 125 on that. But what do you have on this hot hand? Like bet wise?
Yeah, I'm iffy on it because I could see an early finish definitely because I think Jesus' grappling is a lot better with Sumudaerji, especially if he gets him down. But I think while they're on the feet, Sumudaerji's striking is just going to be so much crisper. And I think he's going to put it on Jesus. So if you're getting beat up, like how willingly are you going to be to move forward for a takedown? So I'm extremely mixed. I don't really like the money line or playing a money line here. I think Sumudaerji at minus 230 is juiced, but I don't know. I'm hesitant to play an over because I could see Jesus subbing or Summer or Sumudaerji knocking Jesus out, being chaotic, and I could definitely see an under as well. So it's like I don't know. I'm extremely mixed on this fight.
I'm trying to look at the betting perspective. There's no. I'm curious to see what Jesus Aguilar's takedown line's going to be. I don't think he gets knocked out though, so I think another good bet. But it would suck because Jesus obviously has the finish upside. So actually, while I say that, that leads me to check on finish only money line Jesus Aguilar plus 120. So I don't think he gets finished by Sumudaerji. But is that good enough? Do you like that?
I don't know. I mean, ESPN is showing right now that Sumudaerji has a 10-inch reach,
10-inch reach advantage.
72 inches to 62 and a half.
Yeah, he's gonna violate him on the feet.
Bro, like that's a little that's hefty, bro. Sumudaerji is
And
gonna be
Sumudaerji has good
throwing
front chokes
fucking bombs.
himself. Sumudaerji has good front chokes
But
himself.
but it scares me though, because taking Sumudaerji at fucking minus 230 when he has 7 losses and 6 come by submission against
Yeah,
someone that subs people, you know what I mean?
yeah, I agree.
It's
I'm
it's
not paying
it's
minus
what route you
230, but
go.
I think he's gonna outclass him on the feet. I think he's good enough to at least stuff some takedowns and put some pain down on Jesus. So I'm gonna take Sumudaerji as my pick, but this fight's a bit iffy because it's pretty clear what the like. If you want a one decisive bet, it's tough, but you can bet Jesus by submission at plus 460, and then take something with Sumudaerji because Sumudaerji by decision. And either way, those are both plus money picks. You're making money regardless. Only thing you're gonna lose possibly is Sumudaerji knockout, and I think that odds are. Yeah, you can just take the under 2.5 at plus 140. You can take those, and you're profiting regardless. But I don't really. That fight's a bit iffy to me, but I do like Sumudaerji in that spot with the striking, and I think he can stuff enough takedowns to stay on the feet and rip with that 10-inch reach advantage. But we'll keep it pushing. We got Cody Durden taking on Mvike Tumendembrel. Probably butchered that, but I thought Cody Durden got cut. Not even gonna lie, I'm surprised he's still fighting, but he is an exciting guy. But like Tumendembrel is kind of mid though. But I've watched him even back from Road to UFC days. I'm just like his line's pretty close. I like Tumendembrel here. I'm gonna take him on the money line most likely. I can't bet on Cody Durden in 2026. Round one though. Round one. There might be some grappling. I'm trying to look at that if they have that round props. Round one spread, Cody Durden plus 1.5, minus 150. I don't really like that juice on there, but kind of like that. But I'm taking Tumendembrel on the money line at minus 140. If it gets better, shit, I'll take it. I'm not betting on Cody Durden in 2026. It might burn me because that's like what I would have said last week. Betting on Bobby Green in 2026 to win is crazy. and then he fucking. But Zellhuber's a huge fraud. I'll ride with um the Mongolian here. How about you?
Yeah, I think in this spot I gotta ride with Durden. I just don't think this Mongolian fuck is very good. And I'm pretty sure it was him that we seen Carlos Hernandez beat the fuck out of, and I think Hernandez is pretty shit himself, if you ask me. Yeah, it was Hernandez in a split decision, but I think Durden is just going to be very live early on. I think his first round finish plus 105 for Durden is a good play. So I think if Durden wins, it's going to be early. So I just can take this Mongolian fucker at minus money against someone as deadly as Durden. So give me Durden round one, but if we were to play money lines, I wouldn't touch this fight. I also like an under. I think someone's getting finished.
Yeah, I was gonna say round three to start now, minus 125 might be an alright look. Um, as well as like the under 2.5 at minus 150 on FanDuel.
Yeah, it's definitely a under fight for sure.
Yeah,
I think Durden's either gassing or he's getting an early finish.
I'll probably end up playing that under 2.5 minus 150. That's probably what I'm gonna end up playing with instead of Tumendembrel because I I might end up playing Tumendembrel on a parlay or something, but I'm not gonna stake like a full unit on his money line. Now that I look at the under and I think about Durden coming out hot, but I still think Durden he could win the round one. I think he's gonna win round one, but then end up getting fucked up. He's gonna gas fast, but he is coming down on a drop from talent. Like I think his previous opponents were fucking way better than this dude, but age, father time catches all. But we'll move on to Alberto Montes taking on Ricky Turcios. Um, I don't even. I feel like I don't even have to talk. You guys know what I'm gonna say. I'm not fucking betting on Pretty Ricky. I'm not betting on him. I'm not picking him. I'm not betting on him. Even if he would have beat Cam Smotherman, because Smotherman was fucking died on the fucking weigh-in stage. I'm going Alberto Montes via decision plus 200, and I'm probably just gonna take that with like 0.25 units that and just not make it hard. I don't think he. I think Pretty Ricky's gonna put some pace on him. Maybe fuck around with a split, but I think Montez is decently better than fucking Ricky Turcios, and he's getting cut. They've been trying to set this nigga up to get cut. I'm not. I want to watch Ricky Turcios get cut. What do you have?
Yeah, I think Ricky, as always, his best matchups are these new dudes because he's just known for putting pace and winning by his cardio and decisions. And I think if Montes doesn't finish him early, that the pace of Ricky is going to catch up, and Montes will either win a decision or Pretty Ricky will. I do like a over in this fight. I don't think Montes finishes them early. I think it's going to go to the later rounds, but the odds are definitely showing that because any Pretty Ricky fight, it's pretty fucked. Over 2.5 is minus 160. So, I mean, I've
Not
definitely
bad.
seen worse with his fights, but I would be hesitant on betting money lines in this fight because Montez is very unproven, and the pace of Pretty Ricky could be a problem. So that's just all I have for this fight. But I think Montez should more than likely win this fight.
Yeah, I'm taking a look right now. Another worthwhile look. Will the fight go the distance? Yes. Minus 120. That might be better than playing around with some lines. But I am going to sprinkle that Montez decision. That's more of a spite play though, because I don't really don't fuck with Pretty Ricky. We'll keep shit moving. We got Dante Johnson taking on Cody Brundage. Um, this is pretty fast for Cody Brundage to be coming back. Not gonna lie to you, but he didn't look terrible in round one in his last bout, so I guess I'm not too surprised. Trying to take a look. Damn, Dante Johnson's minus 800 now. Decent, decent push from earlier in. Deontay Johnson round one minus 115. I really don't feel like taking round one. Cody Brundage is somewhat durable at times. How do I get value out of this bad boy? Under 1.5, only minus 180. I'm definitely betting on Gone in 60 seconds. Plus 1200. What do you got for this? Money line. Hot hand, bet was.
Yeah, I think Brundage is pretty durable, but I think Johnson's style, it's kind of just when he
Yeah.
connects good once, you're fucking
He's
sleeping.
gonna
And
fuck him up.
he just got KO'd by Rouston, so it's like, I don't know.
Oh, I
I
like
think
this. I'm taking
Johnson by
this. I'm
early
taking this.
sub
Yo, Dub.
or not sub KO. I mean KO.
Dante Johnson to win by knockout in rounds 1 or 2 is minus 140 on FanDuel.
Yeah, that's definitely the play right there.
I guarantee that shit's like minus 160 by fight day. Minus
Yeah,
160 because that's the
that's
play.
nice.
That's probably the play. You get round one and two.
Yeah, it's because I think if it goes late, that Brundage could win a decision here. Because
Yeah.
Johnson's style doesn't really have, you know what I mean? Isn't a
Longevity,
good
yeah.
style for
He's
going
pushing
15
out early.
minutes.
Yeah. If he gets put in deep waters, that's where we're really gonna see what kind of fighter he is. But for the meantime, I think I'll probably just knock Cody Brundage the fuck out. I think I could Brundage probably have moments if he can last through round one and like the first 7.5 minutes. But
I think Brundage could possibly win if he grapples. If he comes out with a grapple heavy game plan, I think we could see him win.
let me see something real quick just before we move on. Cody Brundage by points plus 1200. I could fuck around with that as a long shot.
Oh yeah, most definitely. I'm telling you, Brundage could definitely get a late finish or a decision win.
I'm just not feeling well about how much damage he absorbed in the last fight. But we'll move on to
That's why,
someone
yeah.
who has taken a lot of damage in his Cody Garbrandt taking on Long Xiao. Uh, Cody Brundage or not Cody Brundage, Cody Garbrandt. I'm pretty sure I took him against Randy Barcelos and he did me foul. Uh, I think Long Xiao is gonna be pretty much duplicating kind of what happened there, but Long Xiao is more of a crash out. I can't side with Cody Garbrandt when it comes to knocking niggas out anymore in 2026. Like I've been saying for these fighters, and I might sound like a hater, and it's because I am, but I just feel like his days are numbered. I don't even know. Oh, I was gonna say if he's on the main card, I'm not fucking with it. But I just think Long Xiao, damn, his odds are really close. I feel like there's money coming out on Cody Garbrandt. Um, taking a look here at an over, but over 1.5 at minus 350. My overall prediction is gonna be Long Xiao by I low key feel the knockout, but decision's probably the popular play here. I think you could sprinkle a Long Xiao knockout. I think he can get into an exchange, deep exchange with Cody Garbrandt and test that chin. Um, I do. Let me take a look at how to get Long Xiao. Long Xiao is a decent line already. His money line. I'm probably gonna rock with that. And before I forget, that's Mike's featured pick, if I'm not mistaken. Oh no, wait, hold on, never mind. Tumendembrel is the featured pick from Mike. Second chat real quick. But I'm not siding with Cody here. I'm gonna go with Long Xiao, and I might play his Long Xiao knockout. I'm gonna play a plus 450. So cashed. I saw you were in the chat. You're asking for plays like that. I think I could fuck around with Long Xiao by knockout. What do you think on that hot hand and cashed? Hit the chat.
Yeah, I definitely got to go with my guy Cody No Love. I'm just a huge fan of Cody, so I usually like to bet him. The only time I really faded him was when he fought Figgy, but I think if this fight stays standing, that Garbrandt's gonna have the advantage. I just think that he's getting older, so hopefully we don't really see a huge decline in his speed. But I think everything else that he should have the advantage, and as long as he doesn't get taken down, I think he should be safe. But I think his chin will hold up against someone not as talented as to what he's used to seeing. He's fighting guys like Kaikara France and Figgy and these more known fighters. So I think he's going to see the talent level drop, and I think he'll definitely be able to overcome this fight. And that boy Cash, he was saying something that he has a new coach, and that his new coach is actually a legit boxer from Australia. And before that, his coach was his uncle. So definitely the change in mentality and with coaches and actually getting a proper training camp. Who knows? Maybe we see Cody Noah come back looking like the champ he is. So I'm definitely on no love for this fight, and I'd probably say by decision.
All right, I can respect it. Uh, keep this one going. Got RoboCop taking on Bruno Ferreira in a rematch. Bruno Ferreira, I believe it was his debut, a short notice debut. That getting a finish on RoboCop. Now you see both their careers progress. Both killers, honestly. So that being said, I know Hot Hand's gonna object to this. I'll let him speak. But yeah, I think he has the value on. He likes RoboCop by decision as a value pick, but I'm thinking this fight does not go far at all. Round three to start. No is minus 340. Yet the under 1.5 is minus 120. That doesn't even make sense. It's only 2.5 minutes of a difference, and it's from minus 120 to minus 3. The fuck? I'm taking the under 1.5. I think they're banging out fast. I really do think that, but I I'm gonna take RoboCop. I think here. I think that he's come back, and I am a Bruno Ferreira um Vader typically doesn't really pay off, but I think RoboCop has gained my respect again after what he did to Roman Kopylov, and I think that he can find the shot here against Bruno Ferreira. Obviously, Bruno is gonna. I think Bruno's gonna be acting like a bitch. I really do think he's gonna act like a bitch in this fight. That's why I'm gonna have to silence RoboCop. You have RoboCop 2 in this hot hand?
Yeah, I think RoboCop beats the fuck out of him. I just don't see Bruno getting finished, so that's why I'm taking the decision. I think the odds are on it going to the judges, but I also do like RoboCop's money line.
Minus 180 is a tiny bit. Uh, Probably ended up taking his knockout, but he could, like you said, you liked the decision, and I could see it because I don't really see Ferreira knocking RoboCop out. The last time he knocked him out was kind of like weird, and he's progressed a lot since then. I don't really like fucking around with
So much
rematches.
he's so much more patient now, RoboCop. I think that's the biggest thing. Like I think, oh, I don't think, but we know that everyone respects RoboCop's power. Like people know he puts people out. So now that he's patient, he's just waiting on that shot. I don't know. I think Bruno is going to be hesitant to enter just how patient RoboCop is now. Because
Yeah,
RoboCop definitely slowed it down from how he looked in Cannoneer when he gasped badly after beating the fuck out of him. He's shown so much progression. So I definitely got to side with RoboCop.
so I'm looking value wise. Gregory Rodriguez win by knockout in rounds 2 or 3 is plus 460. Um, I really think that has a lot of good value on that compared to the round one. You know what I mean? Because what you just said about
Definitely, yeah.
Bookub being patient, and like I said about Bruno Ferreira acting like a bitch. Uh, if Gregory Rodriguez doesn't walk him down, then there's not going to be a lot of action in the first minute or so, or first couple minutes or so. So the under 1.5 is a bit more sketchy than I thought. I do think I'm taking that. And when I clicked on it on FanDuel, I already had a pick in my. This little two-legger, I think, could be value for anyone listening right now. Dante Johnson to win by knockout in rounds 1 or 2, and Gregory Rodriguez to win by knockouts in round 2 or 3, plus 860 on FanDuel. I like that as a little two-legger for anyone watching this. Um, but you heard pretty much the gist of it. RoboCop is probably going to in bout. But how do you feel about that figure hot end?
Yeah, I mean, I like it. Like I said, I think it's going to be a early Dante Johnson finish and a late finish or decision for RoboCop. So I definitely think that parlay should be money,
All right.
especially at plus 800. That's nice.
Now we move on to one of these fights that when you even talk about, you just fucking hate talking about these guys. Dober versus Michael Johnson. Um, Drew Dober fucking looks insane now. The fucking Crimson Chin. He's been getting violated, and I think he's on his way out of his career. But obviously, Michael Johnson's like 50 years old. So you have two guys that are somewhat unreliable in them fight extremely good competition. Michael Johnson obviously was one of the first to fraud check Zell Huber, not the first, but one of the first before King Green did it last weekend. Um, in this fight, I really don't want to fuck around with money lines, but I am gonna side with Michael Johnson. I do think that his speed is gonna play a part in this kicking. I think Judo is gonna want to crash out, but um, sounds crazy to say. It sounds really crazy to say. That girl on Homa Fights talked about it when he fought Manuel Torres. That Botox shit actually like affects like the way you absorb a punch. I think Michael Johnson's gonna fuck him up with the volume, beat his face up, and get more damage in the fight. I'm gonna take Michael Johnson, and I'm gonna take him by decision probably. What do you feel about this fight though?
Yeah, I'm extremely iffy on it. I just don't know if Dober is going to be able to trap Johnson because I think Johnson's going to have a clear speed advantage. I just don't see Johnson being able to eat and absorb the strikes of Dober if he's letting it go. And it's very well known that Dober's like attributes just go up 10 against Africans. So
Oh shit! I didn't think about that. Oh fuck.
I think like just based off that I have to bet Dober. I think he's undefeated against black people. So it's literally just written like
Does Manuel
he's
Torres
fighting
count?
someone black, you gotta bet him. Nah, he's Mexican.
All right.
Yeah, that I wouldn't count that one. He's fighting Africans or like pretty sure there was a Portuguese guy from or Brazilian he beat up on bad. But anyone of that like ethnicity he's beating up on. So give me Dober.
Yeah, that is something to factor in here. Fuck, man. Because if I lose on Michael Johnson, I'm gonna be sick as fuck. That now that I know about the plus 10 attributes, so caution in the win on that fight. That's not a fight that I would want to bet on, regardless. But obviously, as a breakdown, I gotta give you guys my opinion. But my opinion is probably don't bet on that fight unless you're throwing in some fucking nuke shit. But we got Rob Font versus Raul Rojas, a fight that was supposed to happen already. Got pushed. I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be a main event of a card a while back. But Rosas comes in here. I like Chewy in this spot. Rob Font's getting older. Rob Font is probably going to control with his jab and shit, but I think Raul Rosas is going to try to spam takedown attempts. He's going to try to spam the fuck out of them. And I do think Rob Font, if he can stuff them, then yeah, he's going to most likely take over on the feet and win by decision. But Raul Rosas is big. He's real big. And I think that he's just gonna pressure Rob Font and he's just gonna get on top of him and he's gonna be relentless. He might gas late and that might be where Rob Font excels. Uh, and speaking about that, that actually just gave me an idea on a possible um plus money play. I would think it'd be plus money. Uh, Rob Font round three spread plus 1.5 at plus 100. I think if it would go the third round, I don't think Raul Rojas is gonna push the pace deep into the fight. That deep into the fight where he would absolutely just clear Rob Font, where Rob Font's throwing 1 million jabs third round. So that plus 1.5. If the fight don't go to round three, then the fight the bet voids. So like if it goes to round three, I think that Rob Font wins the round. Let alone plus 1.5 and winning on one card. If you're looking at some more value, -1.5 on that round prop is plus 275. So that's probably where I'm gonna start attacking. I'm gonna start betting a lot of those round props recently because, or in the near future, because when I think about it, in a lot of these fights, you can predict what fighter's gonna be good when, just if they're gonna be able to finish or win in other areas. But what do you feel about this fight?
Yeah, I think Rob is gonna have a clear advantage on his feet, and what scares me about betting Rosas in this one is who did he fight his last? I remember it was a striker, and we were like,
Rob Font?
he's definitely gonna come out.
He fought.
No, Rosas.
Didn't he fight? Fuck. I was
Fuck,
just
I
looking
gotta
at it.
pull it up.
Really 10 minutes ago.
Morales.
Yeah, yeah. That was a
Morales.
while back. Yeah.
I remember. I forget who he fought though. It was some Chinese dude. That was a striker, and we were like, well, he's definitely going to sub him since he's fighting a striker, and then he stood there and banged with the striker. So I wouldn't put it past that Rosas comes out and tries to prove something by striking with Rob Font just getting tagged. But I think if Raul doesn't finish him early, I think Rob Font's definitely going to be live later on. But I think it could be a very, very early finish for Rosas because I think he's, like Mike said, he's just way more aggressive and bigger, and he's going to be a lot more dominant early than Rob Font. And we know he's getting older, so how much damage can he absorb here? But I I I'm very mixed because I think Rob Font could win late in the fight, but give me Rosas. I think he'll probably finish it early, and if he doesn't, I think Rob Font for a live bet will be very live if we start to see Rosas gas.
Do you like the +1.5 round three spread, +100 Rob Font?
Yeah, definitely. Because I think Rob Font will definitely be way more live late.
Yeah. I feel like that's like a clear cut pick. Like I have to take that. Goes to round three. I don't think Raul has layers on him. And if he does, he's already gonna be getting tagged and he's gonna be tired. Because that means that he didn't finish him already. Probably getting stuffed on takedown attempts. Because if he's getting them, then he's finishing them. So that's where I'm looking at the fight. Uh, but I'm gonna take Raul Rojas by submission, which is good, better odds than I thought. I think he gets Rob Font the fuck out of there. That's where I'm siding on this. We're gonna keep it pushing though. We got RDR and Xiao Borralho. How the mighty have fallen. RDR is looking like a fucking demon, and then we saw him quit on the stool yet again. And I can't back someone who does that. I do think he's fucking huge. So if he's winning early. But Borralho, we saw him lose to Imavov, but it was somewhat competitive. Actually, what I'm thinking right now is Reiner de Ritter by submission is +1,000. That's the only way he wins. With that fucking knee. Damn, I'm trying to look at odds. But they're both +1,000. I do not think RDR wins by points here. I really don't. I don't think this is going 5 rounds either. Which the odds are. Well, this is 3 rounds. Never mind. 3 round RDR is a different deal. What do you have on this hot hand? So I can fucking look at bets real quick. Because now that I'm looking at this fight more and more.
I think Kyle wins, but it's Kyle. He doesn't really do anything exceptionally well, and he never like chases finishes. He's just chilling. You know what I mean? Like he'll be there in your face all fight, but he isn't gonna hunt for a finish. So I think a over in this fight is good. I think it's gonna be Kyle by decision. So I don't think anyone's getting finished. Like Kyle doesn't put himself in like dangerous situations, so I don't think RDR is gonna sub, and I don't think Kyle does enough to get RDR out unless RDR gasses. But it's 3 rounds in RDR. I seen a picture of him. He looks a lot better than he did like before his other fights coming into fight week. So I think Kyle should win a decision, probably like 29-28.
Yeah. It'll probably be a close bout, but after quitting on the stool, I can back RDR here. But I will be playing that plus 1,000. I do know Kyle is fucking demon in Jiu-Jitsu world, but RDR is big as fuck. So if they're in exchanges on the ground, plus 1,000, I have to take it. Um, Otherwise though, this should be a good fight, and I'm probably gonna play it live if it doesn't finish early. Gonna move on to Max Blessed Holloway in the main event against Charles Oliveira. Um, this fight just pisses me off that it's for the BMF because stylistically, I would think that the bigger Charles Oliveira is gonna be able to take him down and choke him out. If they touch the mat, it's over. It's over if it touches the mat at all. But it's the B. But it's the BMF, so they're gonna be trying to stand and bang. And Charles Oliveira's been talking like he wants to stand and bang. Like, and if he does that, obviously Max Holloway is gonna fry him, which is why he's the favorite. But if it touches the mat and it's fucking MMA and it's 5 rounds, if it doesn't touch the mat one time in 25 minutes, what the fuck is going on? He has a clear path to victory. He gets to the mat, Max Holloway is gonna be a fucking Auntie Anne's pretzel. So, with that being said, if we're putting ego aside, which is tough to do, I'm taking Do Bronx by submission. That's what I'm saying. And I got it right off in the sunset, even though I think he's going to end up getting knocked out because he's going to end up trying to talk shit, point to the ground, stand and bang, put on a fight for the fans, and get beat up when he can just go in there, get him to the ground. Dustin Poirier almost had him in the gilly. He had that shit. Charles Oliveira would have been already waving to the crowd. Max Holloway would have been sleeping on the fucking canvas. So I got to side with Charles Oliveira with realistic um fight in mind, but we'll see. What about you?
Yeah, I'm staying away from this fight because a lot of people been asking me my thoughts on this one, and it's like you have Charles who's a grappler, so if he wants to grapple, he could easily sub because we've seen Dustin almost sub Max, and Charles is a way different demon in the grappling department than Dustin is. So, but then you look at it and you look at Charles getting dropped by people like Michael Chandler or Justin Gaethje getting dropped by everybody, and then you have someone like Max who's probably one of the best boxers in the UFC. So I could see a Holloway knockout. So it's kind of whatever version shows up. If Max entertains grappling, he's getting done dirty. If Charles even tries to box, he's going to get done dirty. So I feel this fight is definitely better for a live bet scenario. And I don't know. I'm iffy on the round props too because they both hold they advantages in different realms of the sport. So I feel like a finish is definitely doable, but I've seen a lot of people on the over, but I'm thinking the under. I think someone's getting finished.
Yeah, I think someone gets finished too, and I think 4.5 rounds is a long time. But the only reason that I would think that would go over is theatrics. You know what I mean? Like they want to put on a show, and they want to push
Oh
for.
yeah, definitely.
But real like it's hard to talk. That's why I hate the BMF because it's hard to try to look at this through a clear lens because my typical fight analysis, me thinking, yeah, Charles Oliveira is gonna choke this dude out, just like I said about him choking fucking Garbrandt the fuck out. So that's where I'm gonna stay. Uh, oh, we actually did not make a lab, so do you want to just make one right now? Who do you got?
Yeah, let's do a method one since it's just you and I.
Yeah,
Let's get some juice on it. Most confident method. Shit. I think Fernandez KO is
what's the odds
definitely
on
gonna
that?
happen. I don't know. That's what I'm about to check though.
Pull it up real quick while I pull mine up.
Minus 115. I don't know. I'd rather get something better odds.
um, I'm gonna end up taking I'm taking on FanDuel. I'm take well, you can take that Jonte Johnson. Right now, who did you say Johnson? Who did you talking about?
No, I said Fernandez, Luke Fernandez fighting Bellato.
Yeah. Uh, I'm gonna take. We should do it on. We'll do it on FanDuel, and we'll take. Where's that Fernandez fight? Because then we can actually make it nice two-legger. I'm looking on. Here we go. Luke Fernandez to win by knockout in rounds 1 or 2, plus 130. That
Yeah.
that with Johnson by knockout in rounds uh, 1 and 2 is plus 300 on FanDuel, two-legger.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, so Dante Johnson and Luke Fernandez to win by knockouts in round 1 or 2. That is the collab this week, plus 300 on FanDuel. If you want to do a little bit more watered down, you can just take their knockouts flat. But Dante Johnson, you're gonna get a little bit more juice on that. So that's what we're riding with. As always. Oh, and the feature pick is Tumendembrel. I already said it before, but I'll say it again. Thanks for joining as usual. And hopefully we'll see you guys at the cash counter. Quicker episode today.